So last week, I gave you guys a rundown on what Pokemon products I've been buying, and I actually added to my position for Chilling Reign. I actually bought 6 more Chilling Reign booster boxes for about $430 each, and this was before they shot up to $600. However, a lot of these things that I bought last week have now run up exponentially, including things like this Obsidian Flames PC ETB, right? The Crown Zenith PC ETB has run up a lot, and of course, Sword and Shield booster boxes like Brilliant Stars and like Chilling Reign. So what am I going to be targeting now that a lot of these products have already run up? My next buys are going to target undervalued products, and if something has already run up 200%, I'm not going to chase those products, right? You don't want to chase something like the Obsidian Flames PC ETB when it's now $700, $800 versus, a week ago you could have got it for $400, right? You don't want to chase those things that have already run up in the past week to 300%. It's just not worth it. You want the highest probability of return, right? You want the safest, most secure return you can possibly get. And in my opinion, those two items are going to be 151 booster bundles and Paldean Fates booster bundles. If you can find these booster bundles for under $70, either one, I would absolutely pick them up, right? I think 151 and Paldean Fates are two of the best sets of SV. They're both top 3 sets in my opinion, and 151 and Paldean Fates are both going to be out of print in the next couple of months, right? In around April of next year, so April 2026, both of these sets are going out of print, and they are going to go crazy because the demand for these sets, as you guys have seen, is already really crazy, right? 151, of course, has the 3 starters. It's a very nostalgic set. And Paldean Fates has the Bubble Mew, which is now one of the most expensive cards in all of SV. It's currently sitting at $572, which is really crazy, honestly. This is much more expensive than a lot of the Sword and Shield chases even. So this is already the second most expensive card of SV, right behind the Umbreon from Prismatic. And I can even see a world where this becomes that #1 card because the Umbreon is going down each and every day with more and more Prismatic reprints. But Paldean Fates, as we know right now, is not really getting reprinted that much, and its time is running out. Its print cycle is very short. This is just going to keep on going up in the future, especially when it's out of print. I think without a doubt, if you can find these locally on Facebook Marketplace, I've been looking at Facebook Marketplace and I've been seeing these selling for around that $60 to $70 range quite consistently. I recently picked up 10 of the 151 bundles for about $62 each, and I'll continue doing so for the time being. Currently, these are the 2 items that I am prioritizing, right? Both of these bundles for under $70 is going to be harder and harder to find, right? Right now, a lot of people are still kind of fast selling these bundles when they get restocks at Walmart or Target, but there's going to come a time where these stop restocking, and that's when both of these are going to shoot up to over $100 almost overnight. Both of these products are going to be $20 per pack. You just want to get into both of these sets as soon as you can. The next product I want to talk about is going to be Paldea Evolved Pokemon Center ETBs. If you take a look at a comparable Pokemon Center ETB, this is the Obsidian Flames one that I currently only have one of, but this ran from about $390 all the way to $755, and this was actually printed slightly more than the Paldea Evolved. Of course, I do like this promo a little bit better. It's the Charmander promo, a very, very iconic card of SV, but the Paldea Evolved Pokemon Center ETB is still sitting under $400, right? If you can find this for under $400 after tax and shipping and everything, then I believe that is a fantastic buy. I think the time is definitely running out for this ETB as well. You can see there's only 21 total quantity. And if you take a look at the listings, right, it goes from 390 to 400, then 410, 420, 450, 480, right, 500, and then the second page, the sky is the limit, and it basically goes to $1,000 pretty quick, right? 800, 900, 1,000. So I really think a lot of eyes are going to be on this particular piece of ETB very soon. So picking it up under $400 right now is an absolute steal, in my opinion. The next product is going to be Silver Tempest booster boxes. I think out of all of the Sword and Shield booster boxes, this is currently still slightly undervalued. Now, it's only sitting at about $450 right now. I've seen many places sell it for around that $420 range, and I think for under $420, this is an absolutely must buy currently. Taking a look at the sets, you have the Lugia V, right, which I currently think is a pretty undervalued card. You also have the Rayquaza VMAX, you have the Rainbow Lugia, you have the 2 Blazikens, you have a Gold Lugia, you have a Gold Rayquaza, and you have a lot of other Trainer Gallery cards down the line. Now, do I think this is the best Trainer Gallery set in SV? Probably not. I would consider Lost Origin and Brilliant Stars much better than Silver Tempest. but never underestimate the value of a top chase card, how far a top chase card can carry a set. And I think this Lugia V will eventually possibly even surpass the Giratina, right? I don't know if that's a hot take or not, and this is coming from me who has a large position in Lost Origin, right? I think this Lugia V could very well overtake the Giratina in the long run, and having a Lugia and a Rayquaza in the same set, I just think it's pretty amazing, and that makes Silver Tempest just that more undervalued. The next item, which I believe you have a little bit more time to pick up, but I would definitely pick up these 4 before picking up this one. This is going to be Paradox Rift booster boxes, right? I've been seeing a lot of sellers who are selling it around that 220 range, or maybe even slightly below 220. And if you guys didn't know, Paradox Rift is now a $250 booster box. We recently had a buyout. It basically went from about that 215, 220 range, and now it is sitting at about $250. And there's really not too much quantity left on the market. 143 is not a lot of booster boxes, and Paradox Rift, in my opinion, is a very underrated Scarlet and Violet set that is also going out of print the same time as 151, as Paldea Fates, as Paldea Evolved. So Paradox Rift has this Groudon, which I think is one of the best illustration rares of Scarlet and Violet. It also has the Altaria, the Roaring Moon, the Garchomp, right? Some really decent special illustration rares. And then you have some really great depth, right? You have a lot of great, fantastic illustration rares like the Steelix, the Plusle, the Minun. You have the Morpeko, you have the Yveltal, right? You have a lot of great depth, and that's one thing that's very underrated about Paradox Rift. So knowing that Paradox Rift is going to go out of print in the next 7-8 months, and also knowing that this is a deep set that is still very undervalued at about $200, right? This is one of the cheapest booster boxes you can buy, and it's also, going out of print. So I just think that is an absolute no-brainer. I would pick up these other ones, before I pick up Paradox Rift, but if you can find it for like $200, even under $200, I would absolutely pull the trigger. And lastly, we have to talk about Destiny Rivals, guys. As you guys know, I'm a huge Destiny Rivals supporter. I put my money where my mouth is, and I've invested, quite a bit into Destiny Rivals for under $300, and I still think Destiny Rivals at around that $300 range is an absolute buy. It's currently sitting, I believe it is at $200 or $320 now, which is pretty crazy, right? It had that slight dip in the market when people kind of sold off, went back down to 300, and now we are basically at all-time highs again at $324. You guys already know how great the set is. It has the Mewtwo, has the Garchomp, the Moltres, Ho-Oh, Nidoking, and Crobat, along with a plethora of depth and awesome illustration rares. This is just one of the greatest sets that has ever been made, in my opinion. It's going to be one of the most iconic sets of Scarlet and Violet, and I believe this is even better than all of the sets in Sword and Shield other than Evolving Skies. Now, you can say that's a hot take, but I think Destiny Rivals is a better set than Fusion Strike. I think it's a better set than Lost Origin, but of course it is a worse set than Evolving Skies. So it falls somewhere in between Fusion Strike and Evolving Skies for me. And just looking at the value currently of Destiny Rivals, right, for $300 or maybe even slightly under $300 a booster box, I think that is an absolute must buy, right? You already see what's happening with Fusion Strike. It's already basically $1,000 plus. Evolving Skies is $2.5K. So knowing all of that, you know that Destiny Rivals is going to be between a $1,000 to $2,000 booster box in a couple of years. So these are all of the products I'm going to be targeting for the next couple of months. Let me know down in the comments below what you think, right, and what you are currently buying, and I'll see you guys in the next one.